12:34 on the Buckmaster Show. And this portion of the Buckmaster Show presented by Splendido at Rancho Vistoso, a true continuing care retirement community. Find out more at splendidotucson.com. One of our continuing focus segments here on the Buckmaster Show is aging and the impact on the baby boom generation, of which there are many of us. Today we focus on how to know an older adult should stop driving and how to have that conversation about that with them. Joining us on the Buckmaster Show is Gail Morgan. Gail is a monthly guest to this program on aging issues. This segment is presented by Splendido at Rancho Vistoso in Oro Valley, where Gail is the Community Outreach Director for Splendido. Gail, good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You know, this is a conversation that is, I think, many of the children of older adults really dread having to bring up.
I think it's one of the most dreaded conversations that we ever have as an adult, is having this conversation with our own parents.
But an older adult, the time really, it will probably come for all of us when you no longer can drive safely. And that is a very difficult decision to accept.
It's very difficult because there isn't a definitive line. We don't all wake up and at 96 or at 86 or 76 is not the day that the Department of Motor Vehicles says, okay, turn in your license. Also, our perspective as drivers is always different than others' perspectives of our ability as we reach an older stage.
And I think the statistics will prove and bear out that older people are at higher risk for road accidents than other age groups.
They are, and multiple research has shown that not only are they at higher risk for accidents, they're also at higher risk for multi-car accidents. So not only is the risk bad, but it's likely, if there is an accident, worse than just a standard single-car accident.
Gail, what are some of the warning signs that maybe it's time to think about having that conversation?
Truly open your eyes and look close. Look for dents and scrapes on your parent's vehicle or on an older adult's friend's vehicle. Ask them where they came from. Look for things that the trash cans are knocked over, the garage is skinned up on the side. Also ask about their driving. And when you start hearing perhaps, oh, well, these people are angry, they're beeping their horns all the time. And so if you're starting to see any road rage with the older adult being the victim or the person that's being angry with traffic, that can be a very, very big sign. Getting lost. Somewhere that they've gone frequently over their life, but suddenly they're not familiar with how to get there is also a very good indication. Drive with them. It seems that I know with my own parents, the older they got, whenever we would go somewhere, I became the driver. Mm-hmm. But mix it up. Drive with them so you can actually observe how they're navigating the road. Can they see the road signs? Are they following the traffic signals? Really be observant of how well they're managing in traffic.
So if you're in the car with them and all of a sudden that you're winding up having to say, do this and do that, maybe it is really time for that conversation.
Truly. If you find that you're inserting directions or guidance, or that you're saying, geez, Mom, you're braking a little slow or you're following a little close, those are all really good signs. It may be getting close to consider not driving.
And traffic tickets, of course.
Of course, yes.
There are reasons, too, that an older adult may need to stop driving, reasons that pertain to health issues.
Yes. As we become older, there's more medications that we take that could impact our ability to make sound decisions. Pain medications, other medications that could cause problems, general health problems, something as typical as arthritis. That could severely impact our reaction time and our ability to move our foot from one pedal to the other. Another thing that is health related is memory. and the ability to concentrate. If you are having trouble with memory or the ability to focus and concentrate, that can be devastating in traffic. So
then
that
there's
too.
the eye issues. That perhaps mom or dad have been, or both, to the ophthalmologist. The eye doctor has said that maybe they have the beginning problems with some eye disease that really can make night driving very difficult.
Yes, vision is perhaps the number one reason that people willingly themselves decide it's time to stop driving. And you see it typically in earlier age, they stop the night driving first.
You know, now that you bring these things up to the parent or a friend that's older, what's the next step? I mean, to look for perhaps alternatives because they don't want to give up their independence, which is associated with driving an automobile. So can you start to suggest perhaps maybe someone else could help them with transportation needs?
I think before you even consider having the conversation, stop and say, what does this person use their car for? What transportation do they need? If it's just church on Sundays or a weekly grocery store run, really look at that. And before you have the conversation with them, have available some alternatives. So, you know what, Mom, your neighbor next door, I've already mentioned to her about sharing a ride to church on Sunday. I or your granddaughter would be happy to come do grocery shopping with you. When you have this conversation, it can be daunting, it can be frightening and traumatic for the older adult because it's a sense of loss of independence. So as you have the conversation, if you can restore a means for them to continue their daily activities as far as the transportation piece, that will really help them accept this much easier.
And what if they are reluctant to even have the conversation? I mean, this is something that could be a matter of life or death, let's face it.
You know, this is one conversation you just can't afford to procrastinate because procrastination can truly, in this instance, have life and death impact. If you're uncomfortable and if this older adult has a physician that they are familiar with and that they trust and respect, it's always possible to enlist the support of the physician also to weigh in on this.
And it is important to bring in the older adult in the conversation rather than just saying that, gee, my brother or sister and I have agreed that you need to stop driving, just, making that kind of a statement. Really, you have to engage the person that is involved.
Right. None of us would react well to being told that the time is up and that we're not participating in that. If you have that sincere conversation, throughout the conversation, they're going to start and see that they're having the accidents, that they're not as safe. And if you involve them in the solution and the next step, they're far more likely to go willingly into this next phase as opposed to resent and resist.
And of course, when you're planning for your retirement, people are always looking at, well, can I financially afford this or financially afford that? They really need to think about the driving aspect and transportation and where is a particular assisted living facility. Do they have transportation needs?
Yeah, we plan for retirement every nickel and dime, where and what and how, but we never think about planning for the transportation change. If you select a community like a Splendido, that's all covered for you, all the transportation. If you don't, then you must look at logistics, like you said. And if you're looking at a next retirement step, make sure it's easily accessible or it has services to allow you to stay a part of your community.
Yeah, that really has to be a big factor when you are planning for retirement, and look at the transportation situation and where that particular assisted living or retirement area is. Is it close to shopping or whatever? Do you actually need a car? That's got to be a big factor.
Right. What services do they offer right there on site? So one day when you don't even have a car of your own and you're very happy with that, you can still have a great lifestyle without even having to leave that community.
Gail Morgan, always a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you very much for being with us on the Buckmaster Show and talking about an issue that is very difficult for people to talk about, but so important. I hear about this all the time with the baby boomers are saying, what are we going to do about mom or dad? They really shouldn't be driving, but they want to keep driving. It's a conversation that needs to be addressed.
You can't wait.
No, Gail Morgan, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Coming up now on 1245 on the Buckmaster Show, it is Centennial Day here in the state of Arizona. We will be talking with Dr. Thomas Sheraton about his book, Arizona, A History. It's a revised edition just out from the University of Arizona Press. We will be reflecting on 100 years of Arizona history as we continue on the Buckmaster Show.